How mama gonna teach you how to save your money when she barely on the boat, got stay afloat money. Blacks always broke cause we don't know money. Spend it before we get it and can never hold money.
What's up, wealth babes? I am back with another video. In this video, we are going to talk about credit. My credit score recently went up. I now have a 780, I think it's an 84, and I'm trying to get to the 800 gang. Yeah, 800, between 800 and 850. If I never get to 850, cool, but when I hit 800, oh, you can't tell me nothing. So anyway, in this video, I'm going to talk about credit. We're going to start with the basics, but in the series to follow, I'm definitely going to expand, and also feel free to comment below with any questions that you may have as it pertains to credit, your credit score, building your credit, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So some of you may be wondering what exactly is a credit score, and I'm not just saying that number. A lot of people know that number, that 3-digit number, but I think it's important to expand on the definition or elaborate on the definition of a credit score. So simply put, a credit score is basically a numerical expression of a person's credit files to show lenders a person's credit worthiness. Now, you're probably wondering what that means. Well, it's basically a number of factors. So your credit files, it's not just, you know, one area or one aspect. There is a number of factors that goes into your credit score. Now, with a high score, that means you're between 700 and 850. And then there is also different factors as to what a high score versus a low score is, but in general, and I'll expand on each of those ranges of scores a little later in this video, but in general, a high score simply means that you are more than likely to get what you want from a lender. The lender will see you as worthy of, you know, lending the money to. They will expect that or believe that you will be paying your bill, or if it's not a bill, then you will be paying back the money that you borrowed in a timely manner, and that you're less likely to default on your loans. Well, with a low score, that typically means that in the lender's eyes, that you are less likely to pay back on your the loans. You are more likely to default on the money, the payments, and also you're more likely, to have delinquent payments. Now, that score shows that number, but keep in mind, this is your credit score is a number that shows your past history. So even if you go up to a lender and say that, oh, I'm not like that anymore, well, you have to prove that you're not like that anymore. And so the more you prove that you're not like that anymore, it will show in your credit score. So you want to do your best to pay your money, pay your bills on time, never go late on a bill. Also, make sure that you don't default on any loans. Make sure that you are paying your bills every time it's due. Make sure that nothing goes to collections. My phone is ringing. There are a number of things that you can do to make sure that you improve your credit score, but the time that your credit score is pulled means that it's showing your past history on your credit worthiness. So let's now talk about those ranges of credit scores that I talked about or hinted towards earlier. That said, we're going to talk about FICO. And FICO is basically Fair Isaac Corporation, if someone ever asks you. And we're going to talk about FICO because FICO rules the market. It's the standard credit corporation that, or credit score corporation, I should say, that most lenders or landlords or automobile industries pick, because it's the credit score organization that pretty much rules the market. There are others out there, but FICO is the one that you're more than likely to hear. With FICO, there are like a number of, like, and when I say a number, there are, I think, about 29 or 30 credit scores out there which take different factors into consideration. So for example, let's just say you went to Ford to buy a car. Ford may pull only the automobile industry FICO score, which basically represents and could possibly, depending on how you fare against, you know, paying off your automobile loans. So let me just give you a quick example. If you go to Ford, and this is hypothetical, I don't actually know or exactly know if Ford just pulls the automobile industry FICO score. So if you go to Ford, right, Ford may only pull your automobile industry FICO score. Their automobile FICO scores, there are mortgage FICO scores. So if you are pretty good at paying your auto loans, then your FICO score for the automobile industry could possibly be higher if Ford pulls the automobile FICO score instead of your general or your generic FICO credit score. Now, so keep that tip in mind. Your FICO score could be different based on what the lender is pulling your FICO score for. If they're not using the generic FICO score, then chances are your FICO score could be really well in that area, depending on if you pay that area's credit off, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and talk about the ranges of the general or generic FICO score. So there are 5 categories of the Fair Isaac range, credit score range. The first is very poor. The second category is fair. The third category is good. The fourth category is very good. And then the fifth category is exceptional. So with the very poor category, the range is 300 to 579. And notice how, as I speak on the ranges, the lower your credit score, it seems like, or that category, the lower the category, the higher the range of the credit score possibility, if that makes sense. I pointed that out. I noticed it when I was doing research, and it basically made me think, so dang, if I drop down, I have a greater width of credit score possibilities in the lower end of the spectrum before I can amass and get to the higher end. Hope that makes sense. Probably not. I probably can put something in the screen so that I can indicate or point to what exactly it is I'm trying to explain. But the next category, so after very poor, so very poor is 300 to 579, right? The poor category, or the fair, I keep saying poor, but it's not, it might as well have been poor. The next category after very poor is fair. So with fair, it's going to be 570 to 669. And then there is the good. With the good, it's going to be 670 to, I believe, 739. And then after that category, and I'll repeat them over again because I'm taking so long to explain because I'm thinking, but the very good category is 740 to 799. And then the exceptional category is if your credit score falls between 800 and 850. And with the Fair Isaac, so the FICO score, its range is between 300 and 850. But also note that there are some scores with other corporations that can go beyond an 850. I think it's up to about 900. So categories again: very poor, fair, good, very good, exceptional. And then I'll say it again: if you are in the lower end of those categories, the width of the category, the range, is far greater. It's wider in the lower end. So when you start to get, so let's just say the very poor versus the exceptional. From in this exceptional category, it's 800 to 850. That's only 50 points. So that's very slim, in my opinion, compared to the, actually that's a fact, compared to the lower end, which is very poor, which is 300 to, I believe, 579. So it takes you longer to build it up and it's quicker to lose it. But let's go ahead and go into what else did I want to talk about with the basics. Oh, the impact, or what those categories mean for the to the lenders. When you go to apply for credit, when you go to get a mortgage, when you go to get a car, when you go to get a loan of any type, or even to rent out an apartment, I'm losing my thoughts. When you go to rent out a unit within an apartment complex, if you are in the very poor range, so remember the 300 to 579, you may not even get what you came to go get. Credit applicants in this area usually don't get the credit at all, or they have to pay a fee to get the credit, and that's not what you want. So that's how lenders look at you when you are, if your credit score falls between the 300 to 579, you're in that very poor category. If you're in what's the next category? The poor category, then the lenders are looking at you like you may default on a loan. You're basically a subprime borrower, and what that means to the lenders is that you will get a higher interest rate, higher than anyone else, because you'll be late on some. They're looking at you like you'll be late on a lot of your payments. Then there is the good category, which is after the other two that I just mentioned. And in this category, lenders are looking at you like, oh, okay, fairly good. Not too many people go delinquent on their payments in this category, and your interest rate is obviously going to be better than the interest rates of the applicants in the previous two categories. Now, when you get to the very good category, lenders are giving you the best of the best in regards to interest rates. And then if you're in the exceptional category, best believe like you're at the top of the top in regards to interest, and even getting the credit, probably more than anything that you want, stuff that you're not even thinking about getting. They will be coming at you just because they know that you're gonna pay it off, so you're more likely to get what you want. So just think, keep it simple. Lower end of the spectrum on the credit scores, 300 to 579, less likely to even get the credit that you apply for, and if you do, you'll have to pay to get that. Higher end of the spectrum, no payment, and your interest rate will be a little better, but you'll always have an interest rate, but it just will be lower, and that way when you do fall behind, you are not paying that much more money because you've been good. What I don't get and what I can't wrap my mind around is the fact that, you know, if a person is less than likely to be able to pay for something, then why is it that their interest rate is higher, which means that they'll have to pay more over time if they go delinquent or if they default on their payments or their loans, I'm sorry, which in my opinion is backwards, but that's capitalism for you. So yep, I'm gonna stop right here, and you probably heard the fan throughout this video. If it's distracting you, my bad. I'm getting my air fixed because my heat stopped working. Well, I should say getting my heat fixed. It stopped working and it's too cold out here for that. So you probably hear the fan in the background, which is very loud. Well, that concludes the basics of a credit score video. And make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. But share this video with a friend because I swear I hate when I do that. But share the video because I will be doing a series, a credit series, and I want to make sure that everyone is, you know, hip to the credit. Credit is so important. Make sure that you tune in as well. I started with the basics, but there is definitely more to come, so be sure to stay tuned. The other thing that I want to say is comment below and let me know if you have any specific questions in regard to credit scores, building your credit, whatever the case may be, because I am going to be doing more research because I'm trying to get oh, I feel like I'm getting sick. I'm trying to get to the 800 gang. I'm trying to be between 800 and 850. I'm hopefully I can do that this year. I'm not quite sure how feasible that is, but I'm gonna give it a shot. So yeah, let me know if you have any credit specific questions, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Deuces.